The Ninja Turtles were trying to stop the Krang. The Krang had explosives all over town. As they tried to stop them, though, they would fail. The explosives would go off, destroying most of New York. As the Turtles fell, they would wake up and see St. Peter. As St. Peter would say, sorry, you're humanoid abominations of God. Raph would say, what do you mean? We helped people. We saved them. Yeah, but you're mutants. Mutants go to hell. As suddenly they would fall down into the Hazbin universe. As Raph would scream obscenities, suddenly Donatello would grab his hand and say, calm down, Raph. As then he would say, whatever. As then Mikey would say, look on the bright side, I bet they have pizza in hell. As then Donatello would say, I highly doubt that. As then Leonardo would go, whatever, let's just do this. As then they would go out and search. Each turtle would go out to try to find something, to try to learn something about this place. This place seemed ominous. They expected hell to be full of fire and lava, but it wasn't. As they were all going out searching, Mikey was, well, getting food. But he didn't have any money, so he had to run away with it, technically stealing. As suddenly he would feel a slap on the back of his head. He would look and say it was Leonardo, and Leonardo would say, you just stole from someone. But they're demons, man. Besides, it's pizza. I don't care. As then Raph would say, who cares about stealing? We're dead. All that good stuff, all that good guy attitude, look where it got us. As then Leonardo would say, hey, watch how you speak to your leader. Raphael would say, leader, psh, look where you led us. As they would start to walk away, Mikey would then cry. As then Donnie would then sigh. As Donatello would take Mikey away. As Raphael would walk away, he would feel anger in his veins. As suddenly he would hear laughter as he looked behind him. The rest of the turtles would meet up as Raphael would walk alone. As Raphael turned around, he would then see Alistor. He would say, what the heck are you? As he pull out his scythe and begin to charge at him. Alistor would say, that's not quite a good idea. As then we cut to Donatello, Michelangelo, and Leonardo. As they all looked at each other, Leonardo would say, well, Raph will calm down eventually. We should just stay here. Donatello says, we need to find a new base. Michelangelo would say, yeah. Donatello would sigh and say, well, at least we fit in here. As they would continue to talk, suddenly someone would walk up to them. It was Angel, and he would say, hey, are you guys related? You know, one-on-one, you can all have fun with me. Michelangelo would say, fun? I love fun. Does that have pizza and video games involved? As then Donatello would say, you don't want that type of fun, trust me. As Leonardo would go away. As Angel would sigh and walk away. And Michelangelo would say, oh, I bet it was fun. As they continued to wait for Raph, nothing would happen. As we cut back to Raph, as Raph would fight Alistor. As Raph and Alistor battled each other, Alistor would use his tentacles to try to punch Raph, but Raph would dodge it all and jump at him, kick at him. He had great technique, but he didn't have any magical powers. As Alistor tried to wipe the floor with him, suddenly he'd get anger and anger and anger, as a red aura would appear around him, as he would punch Alistor, causing him to burn, as then Alistor would blast him away, causing him to fall down, almost broken. As then the rest of the trolls would run in, as Leonardo would say, what you got yourself into, Raph? Raph would say, I can handle it. Donatello would say, by my calculation, looks like you can't, as Raph would say, shut up. As then they all got ready to fight, Alistor would say, you don't know how to use your powers yet. Donatello would say, powers? As then Alistor would laugh. Once you die and go here, you get certain powers, a magic that complements your fighting style. Raph burned me with just a touch. It seems like he can burn anything, maybe even create fire. While the rest of you will have your own powers. If you guys become entertaining enough, maybe I'll fight you all. As then he would leave. Donatello would say, I wonder what that was about. As suddenly Leonardo would say, it doesn't matter. Come on, guys. As then the turtles would look for a new home. As Leonardo and the rest of the turtles would find their own home, they would all start to live together once again. As they miss Splinter, they wonder why he didn't go here. Was he still alive? How could survive part of the city being blown up? They didn't know, but they simply continued to live here. As their lives were pretty nice. Even though it was hell, they were able to go out and fight anytime they wanted. And able to, basically do what they wanted. Since they were all bad people there, they didn't really need to worry about hurting people. Of course, they didn't go out and destroy people. They were still the turtles after all. They were mercenaries of hell, and as they fought and as they trained, they began to get more powers. As Raphael could burn anyone, as he would fight, fire would erupt from him, making a fire in fighting style. As Michelangelo had the power of speed, he could spin around and make a tornado. Leonardo had a power of swordsmanship. He was so precise, he could move a sword through a wall without touching a single atom. As Donatello's mind became even greater, as he could build machines more powerful than ever. As they all kept getting stronger and stronger, eventually overlords started to take notice, and they became scared. As Camilla Carmine would be talking to the rest of the overlord, as they all heard about these turtles that would interfere with their business, they needed to find a solution to take care of them. As Camilla Carmine had an idea, why don't we just invite them to a meeting? As they would all be shocked, they would talk amongst themselves, as most would say, "Are you crazy?" Camilla Carmine would say, "Listen, I know that this might seem out of place, but I know for a fact that we can get them to a meeting." As then they all looked at each other and looked back. As Camilla Carmine would say, "What do you say?" As they would sigh and reluctantly agree. As then Raphael would be finishing a mission. As Leonardo would say, "Are you alright?" He would say, "Yeah. Listen, I know I've been kind of strict on you, but I care about you, brother." As then they would both hug. As Michelangelo would say, hug. As then Raphael would punch him. He would say, "Ow, I didn't even hit you that hard." As then they would all laugh. But suddenly Donatello would say, "Hold on, someone's coming up on my scanner." As they would all pull out their weapons and get ready to fight. As Camilla Carmine slowly walked to them. "I know you were all good when you were alive, but now you do this? Very interesting." Donatello would say, "How do you know that? You guys are literally superheroes after you died. Besides, the aura you give off, it's different. I don't know why you were sent to hell." Raphael would say, "'Cause mutants go down here." Camilla Carmine would say, "You were mutants, huh? So this is what you look like when you were alive? Fascinating. Anyway, follow me." As they reluctantly follow her, they would have a meeting. As Camilla Carmine would say, "Hell is ruled by criminals and families. It's just how it is. And to stop that, you had to destroy every single one of us. And we would simply come up from each other's places. So why don't we make a deal to only go after the bad ones?" Raphael would say, "Every criminal's a bad one." As Donatello would say, "Actually, let's hear her out, Raph." As Camilla Carmine continued to talk, she would offer them a deal. They only go after certain overlords and certain people. One of them was Alistor. As Raphael would say, "I'm down to go after Alistor." As Donatello would say, "Actually, I think we have the technical know-how to do it." As then Michelangelo would say, "Well, what are we waiting for, dudes? Cowabunga!" As then Donatello would say, "Do you even say that anymore? When was the last time someone's heard you say that? Anyway, let's do this, I guess." Then we cut to Alistor, who'd be sitting on a bench. As Alistor sat there, he would simply begin to laugh, as he could feel them sneaking up on him. "You almost had me last time, and you've gotten nothing but stronger, and now all of you are on me. However, I've gotten a lot stronger too, and I've gathered up a plan to defeat you." As suddenly, Donatello would use his drones to fly towards Alistor. As they started to blow up, Alistor would go underground and appear above them. Alistor's mastered the art of teleportation to avoid their attacks. As Raph would use his new fire to swing towards Alistor, Alistor would teleport behind him and kick him down. As his fight continued, Alistor knew with only a few hits he would be done for, so he had to rely on that, but that took a lot of stamina. Alistor had to finish this off quickly, and he knew it, and the turtles knew it too. So then, suddenly, Michelangelo would spin, creating a tornado, as Raph would shoot fire, making it have fire. Donatello would shoot electricity from one of his machines. As then it flew towards Alistor, Alistor used all his power to disperse the tornado, causing them to fall down. And Alistor would say, "I did it." As suddenly, Leonardo would appear behind him and use his sword to cut through him with such great precision it wouldn't hit anything vital, as he fell to the floor. As he said, "We did it," as they all cheered. Alistor would say, "You're gonna spare me?" I mean, you couldn't, even if you wanted to, because you don't have an angelic weapon. As he said, "Yeah," because as suddenly Adam would fly down and say, "He did it? I bet St. Peter $5 he would send you all to hell. I can't believe he did it." But the big man upstairs ain't too happy with me. Alistor would then snap his fingers as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be in heaven. That's going to leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Hope you had a good day. I know I did. This video was entertaining, man. It was fun. Yeah, it definitely was fun. I do love the Ninja Turtles. I did one about Shredder. I like to do villains to have them be here. I think that makes more sense. But let's be honest, villains, heroes, they both get people here, and they both like them. So I'm like, why not? You know, why not make them come? And oh, before I forget, look at this. This is who suggested it. This is the man or woman or whatever they are who suggested that idea. So thank you so much for suggesting that. Thank you so much for being here. It really means the world to me. I really love it. And I love all of you, and I'm so grateful you are here. It really does mean a lot that I have an audience like you. It really, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just tired at this point. I'm just like, yeah. You know how I ramble on. Mostly it's to get 10 minutes or over 10 minutes, not gonna lie. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I won't even know what to say. So it's like, oh, my day was this and that, or my thing was that. But yeah, had power back a few days ago. You know, power came out everywhere. Oh, so I was messing around with my computer, accidentally kicked a wire unloose, and I thought it broke, but it didn't. I just had to replug it, so it was literally no big deal. But yeah. You ever do something a little minor and you think you broke everything and you're like, I ruined everything and nothing worked? Well, I do that a lot. Anyway, love you all. Peace out.